In April 1999, in the busy borough of Ealing in West London, a 19-year-old Vietnamese student named Elizabeth, who was returning home from a bar, suddenly vanished without a trace. Almost 9 months later, 27-year-old Lola Shenkoya, who was returning home from work, disappeared in the same area of Ealing. The disappearances of these two women in West Ealing have confounded London police for almost 2 decades, with no progress being made in either cases. Elizabeth Chow was a 19-year-old student attending the Thames Valley University in Ealing, West London. She was a kind, caring and a responsible young girl who dedicated herself to her studies. She lived with her family in West Ealing. On April 16, 1999, Chow had just handed in her assignment at Thames Valley University, and decided to head to a bar with a friend before going home. She ended up at the Students' Union bar of the university. After a quick drink, Chow left the bar at around 5:50 p.m. and headed down the Uxbridge Road, in the same direction as her house in West Ealing. There has been a different statement made regarding Chow's movements that day. The source states that they saw Chow in the town at around 5:30 p.m. But police speculate that this might have been a misunderstanding. Chow was seen walking past the local police station in Ealing at 6 p.m. on the CCTV camera. This was the last time anyone had seen Elizabeth Chow. She had none of her possessions with her, including her passport, and no money has been withdrawn from her bank account since. On the day of her disappearance, Chow was wearing a purple jumper, a sleeveless black body warmer, jeans, brown boots, a silver watch and a gold necklace, and she had a black shoulder bag and a blue arch folder with her. Lola Shenkoya was a 27-year-old American-born computer science graduate, living in Ealing with her sister. Lola was working as a temp at the company, Entertainment UK, in Perivale, West London. Lola was a devout Christian who adhered to the strong values taught by her faith. She was described as a kind and gentle person who always put others before herself. On January 3, 2000, Lola left her office in Perivale and reached her home on Swinton Avenue between 4 o'clock and 4:30 p.m. On that day, her sister Yewande had gotten delayed at her work, and could not get back to her house before Lola did. And since Yewande had the only key to their house, Lola decided to leave her home, and walk towards the nearby bus stop. According to eyewitness reports, Lola then boarded the E2 bus from Northfield Avenue outside Northfield's Underground Station, to Haven Green, where she had got off the bus outside the Burger King restaurant, close to Ealing Broadway Underground Station early in the evening. Lola was not seen ever since. She was described as black, 165 centimeters tall, slim, and with brown shoulder-length hair. At the time she had been wearing a long black coat, a gray scarf, a velvet blue hat, blue jeans and a pair of black patent leather shoes. Since her disappearance, her bank accounts have not been accessed. In May 2004, a man was arrested in connection with the disappearance of both Elizabeth Chow and Lola Shankoya. Both women went missing at busy times of the day, and went completely unnoticed. Detectives have considered the possibility of them both being murdered. Earlier that year, Andrzej Konowski, a 48-year-old Polish national from Twyford Avenue in Acton, was convicted of the murder of 12-year-old Katarina Koneva in her own home, on 22nd of May 1997. Known as the Beast, Konowski was already a wanted man in his home country of Poland for a spate of rapes. He came to Britain as an illegal immigrant in 1996, after absconding from jail in Poland where he'd been convicted of 17 rapes, and faced a total of 70 charges. The next year, he began stalking schoolgirls in London, and on May 22, 1997, he followed Katarina to her home in Hammersmith, and strangled her with a cord. He was described by police as probably the most dangerous of all sex offenders, when he was jailed for life in March 2004. Police officers quizzed Konowski about Chow and Shankoya because they were both young girls who went missing in the area that he operated in. They were never able to find any evidence to connect him. However, police later found out about a woman who was sexually assaulted by Konowski during the period Chow and Shankoya went missing. It was also found that Konowski was working in a dry cleaning shop on the Uxbridge Road, the day Elizabeth Chow was last seen walking past Ealing Police Station. On May 18, 2006, police searched a wasteland behind a row of shops on the Uxbridge Road, looking for the bodies of the two girls. But no signs of them were ever found. In 2009, Konowski died in jail following some health complications. Detectives have questioned many of his former cellmates and other inmates whom Konowski might have interacted with. So far, no evidence linking Konowski to the disappearances of Chow and Shenkoya have been found. A few years later, on August 28, 2014, 14-year-old Alice Gross disappeared while walking along the canal in West Ealing. Her disappearance took place just 2.5 miles from where Chow and Shenkoya had gone missing. The disappearance of the young teen triggered one of the largest police searches since the July 7 terror attacks in 2005. 5 weeks after her disappearance, the body of Alice Gross was found, wrapped in plastic and weighed down by logs in a pit, dug into the riverbed. The murder investigation, which had involved 300 officers from more than a dozen police forces across the UK, found a prime suspect, Arnis Zalkins, a convicted murderer from Latvia, who vanished from his home in West London, days after Alice went missing. The jobbing builder, who moved to Britain after serving 7 years in jail for murdering his wife, was captured on CCTV cycling along a canal towpath, 15 minutes after Alice had walked by. 5 days later, the 41-year-old disappeared from the rented flat in Ealing which he shared with his girlfriend and baby daughter. Police revealed that a cigarette butt with Zalkins' DNA was discovered close to Gross' body. Zalkins was found dead, presumed to have taken his own life, 4 days after Alice Gross' body was discovered. News outlet The Independent reported that former Met detectives were concerned about the disturbing similarities between Gross' murder and the disappearances of Chow and Shenkoya. But at the time of the Chow and Shenkoya cases, Arnis Zalkins was in jail in Latvia for the murder of his wife Radite, in 1997. Police ruled out the possibility of Zalkins being the suspect in Chow and Shenkoya cases. London police are still actively investigating the disappearance of Elizabeth Chow and Lola Shenkoya. As of 2021, Elizabeth and Lola are both still listed on the UK Missing People website. After 20 long years, the families of both Chow and Shenkoya are desperate to find out the truth about what happened. Chow's sister, Bik Kuit Nay Chow, said that even after 2 decades, they have not lost hope. She said that her family still lives in the same house as when Elizabeth disappeared, and even kept the same phone number, in hopes that she might get back in contact with them. Lola Shenkoya's sister, Yewande, also hopes that she will one day find out what happened to her sister, and says that she prays for her every day. If you have any thoughts or information you'd like to share about Chow and Shenkoya's case, leave a comment below. Thank you for watching and we hope you found our video interesting. Like, comment and subscribe for more fascinating unsolved mysteries.